Right then, episode 3. In terms of results, it's like the classic saying, isn't it? It couldn't be much worse in terms of results than episode 2. I mean, 3 games, 3 defeats. The frustrating thing was, though, that in those 3 defeats in the last episode, one was on penalties, of course, and then really both those 2 last matches, one was on penalties, but it was the way we lost them was the game on penalties. We lost because basically the set piece coach had taken over the routines and changed what I had and didn't do a good job of it, apparently. So that didn't help. And then in the last game, I mean, we conceded to Newcastle from two headers in the same attack. The worst thing about that is I did ask the team to stop crosses, and we still didn't stop the bloody crosses. So it wasn't really our fault in terms of the structure and the tactics we employed for those last 2. But the first game was a comprehensive beating. The pressing traps didn't work. I was probably too aggressive going to attacking mentality and worrying about the in-possession part when we were away to Arsenal at the Emirates. So I probably should have just left it. And if the central fielders were a little bit conservative in their movements, that was fine. But I didn't do that, did I? I went for the game and we got beat 5-1. But we did make some improvements. We'll go through the tactic here in a second. And the good news is I have bought some players. I bought some players, and you're going to go, Jack, that's great. Did you buy 1 or 2 players and spend, I don't know, £10 million, £20 million? No. I bought a further 5 players for a grand total of £159 million across the entire transfer window. Yeah, that includes everybody, of course. We spent a lot of money this year. It's not like that this has happened to Leeds before.
Should we have spent so heavily in the past? Probably not. But we lived the dream.
But don't worry, it will not end the way it did that time, Leeds fans. Don't you worry. We've got a plan. We're going to stick to it. We're going to be fine. We're going to follow the Bielsa way, largely. I'm not an accountant. If the board said that's what I had to spend, that's what I had to spend. So, I'm a football manager. I'm not paid to look at the old spreadsheets of the... Well, I mean, I say that. We all know I do Moneyball saves, so I really should know the ins and outs. But that's not my role in this save. This is just tactics, this one. This is all it is tactics. But anyway, in fact, let's go through the players I actually signed. So yeah, starts off with the left back, Leif Davis, who was a former Leeds United player. Played a few times and was at the club during Bielsa's time. Leif Davis is a very, very good left back. He's pretty solid across the boards. He's got good stamina, good work rate. He's decent in possession with the passing of 13, vision of 13, crossing of 16, and corners of 17. The second player I signed was a wide player called Aydin. He comes from Fenerbahce for these are all decent fees, to be fair. They're all pretty substantial. They're not exactly small bits of change. I think he's going to be the starting left-sided player that sort of cuts in on the right foot. For a wide player, he's got good acceleration. He's not quite as agile, so he's going to be on the left and cut inside on his right foot. And then to link up with the midfield player that runs through the half space. That's what I see him doing for us. Benjamin Rodriguez comes in as well. He's going to be the right-sided player of the team, I think. Potentially, he could also play on that left side and cut inside with Dan James maybe on the right. It depends, but at least we've got another player that's got a bit of pace that can run sort of beyond the defenders and be a threat on that right side, naturally on that right side. Martin van der Voort, the goalkeeper, comes in for a relatively small fee, actually. We got a pretty good deal on him. I mean, they're saying he's a leading Sky Bet Championship goalkeeper. That's a bit offensive, isn't it, mine? I don't agree with that, son. Martin, don't you worry. I believe you are a starting level goalkeeper in the Premier League. Especially for one of my teams, you're going to be absolutely fine. And the last one that I'm the most happy with, I think, for the amount of money was Bissouma. Bissouma is just the perfect player I was looking for in that box-to-box kind of role. Could play as a defensive midfield player for us if needed. He's going to probably be with us for 1 or 2 seasons. He'll be the starting central midfield player this season. And as long as we don't get relegated, next season he'll probably then shift over to being the starting pivot fielder for us. He's perfect. Now, I don't make many mistakes playing FM. I've made one here. I didn't quite calculate how many players I had that were homegrown versus not homegrown. And I ended up having to not register 2 players, which is not ideal. I know that it's not ideal. So, unfortunately, the 2 goalkeepers are Vicente Guaita and Perry. Those 2 are no longer registered for the Premier League until January. We've got 2 of the goalkeepers, and they are not very happy about that. So, yeah. So even against the poorer sides, we're currently quite struggling to get some possession. So I'm going to try and make sure on goal kicks at least. We're either going to do one of 2 things here. I'm either going to keep this on standard and go short and maybe go past the feet. I might do this first, or I might change this one to short and keep this as it was, because I don't really want it always to feet. I do want it in space as well. So what, I mean, because we've got be more expressive, I've got players with trying to take more risky passes, that kind of stuff. Like, it should be, like, it should balance out okay. Somebody mentioned in the comments as well that I didn't show the player instructions. I'll go through some of those. And now with you, we'll start off with the strike and work backwards. So for the striker, I've got move into channels. I've got dribble more and run from position on the striker. The two wide players are exactly the same. They've currently got stay wider, dribble more, make more runs, take more risks, shoot it less often, and roam from position. I do not want them to necessarily just go inside or just go wide. I want them to do a bit of both, depending on the situation. It depends, right? Because if the number 10 runs in behind and drags the defender away, then he can cut inside. I don't want him to go on the outside. But there might be scenarios where the number 10 gets on the ball and he's on the outside of the defensive line, and I want him then to take that touch on the outside. And I just want to keep it set to standard. I don't really want anything specific there. I could take roam from position off, because I don't know if I actually want them to roam that much. You know? Let's take that off, actually. And the reason I've got stay wider is because the team width is set to narrow. I could change that to balanced, maybe, because we do need the width from the wide players. The reason it is set to narrow is the fullbacks, right? Is that the width is going to affect both wide players and the fullback. So I either can have really wide width and then have sit narrow on the fullbacks, or I've got, you know, or the opposite way around. We'll try that and see if that works slightly better. Allow us to sort of keep... I don't want us to be too transitional. We want to be able to control the game. The important thing is to control the game, but be incisive with the ball. So the other thing I want to change is this. If you think back to episode 2, the striker is often pressing a lot with the... I think he's getting in the way of the AMC, or the AMC is getting in the way of him. So what I'm going to do is drop him back to central midfield, then make him a pressing central midfielder. So what that should do now is that should make it really clear which side he has to go, and he will still go and be aggressive, but maybe not quite as much as a start position, but he will then go and join him. To the pressing central midfield player, we're going to expect lots of changes in behaviour in the final third. So at goal kicks and restarts, he's going to be really aggressive there. But then once the press gets beaten, he will then drop into a orthodox sort of central midfield position, right? That's what we're looking for here. And as you can see, looking at the visualizer, Baldanzi slightly far ahead of Stack there, both playing in the same, I guess, position, but different roles dictating. But then as it gets back to your own third, you can see how Baldanzi and Stack are both in the same sort of position there. I'm going to change the right winger to a tracking winger as well. And the reason for it is this. In my philosophy, I want my team to press as high as they can at the highest point and try and force turnovers is very easy, but like it's very easy to say, hard to do. But at the very least, force the ball forwards. However, if they do play through our press, which they might do, because that's the big risk of defending the way that I ask my team to defend in the final third, I then need to make sure my team can get back and be secure defending in front of their own goal. So it's like a very, very extreme high press. But once the press is beaten, I have no problem with us getting back into a bit of a shape and defending in front of our own goal if we need to. I want as much chaos as possible in the final third, maybe even the middle third. You're getting a bit of chaos, but towards our own goal, I don't want us to be then as chaotic. I want us to be as organised as possible. It's like a complete opposite effect of how I want the team to behave in the final third versus our defensive third. But the tracking winger is a role that will only take effect, really, as you get towards your own goal. As you can see it here, really. This is why the visualizer is so good, by the way. You can see how the tracking winger isn't really any different to when he was a winger a second ago. He's not really any different here either. But then once you get to your own third, that's where he gets more defensive. And the reason I want him there isn't for the ball that side. It's not even really for here. It's when the fullback gets left 1v1. Now, Paulo Henrique is a very, very quick fullback, so we might not need him to do this. But I want to put him there to begin with and just see how that goes. So we're going to... It's still the same shape, really, but I've just twisted some of the player position and roles. Same shape, though. Same principle as a formation anyway. Same units and all that kind of stuff. That's the important thing, right? It's still the same units. This is steady midfield 3, and this is steady midfield 3 where one's going to jump out. There's still 2 wide players instead of striker, so it looks like it's changed around a bit on the tactics screen, but in reality, it hasn't changed at all. It's the same exact setup. Right, let's get into the game then. Let's see who we got first. We've got Fulham next. So let's see what formation they're playing against us here. I had one mid-season friendly just to get some of the confidence back in the lads. What we got here then? So we've got a 4-2-3-1 that goes to a 4-4-2. Okay. So again, it matches up very well nicely for us in terms of formation. They're expected to play that. They're going to play control possession apparently as well. I mean, I know I shouldn't say this, but we should have them here. We should be winning this game. Lads, we'll see what happens, eh? I guess we'll see what happens. Okay, then let's pick the team and see what team we can put together. It's going to be Van der Vaart in goal. That's pretty easy. Right back is going to be Paulo Henrique. We're going to play, I think, Joe Roden can go next to Ribeiro. Do we want that, though? I do want to try one of these other centre-backs, right? Because there's two of them. He looks a bloody unit, man. Like, how are we not scoring from set pieces? We've got so many bloody units in this team. Steve Davis is still injured, so he's going to miss this one. Is he injured enough? No, he can't even play at all. So he's out for this one. We'll then put Anton Stack in as the pivot player. Definitely going to be Basuma in this role. Definitely Baldanzi here. And then with the wide players, we're going to go with... I was saying about using the other two players. I completely forgot about Gononto when I was talking about wide players. So Gononto's going to go on the right. We'll go with Aydin on the left. Calvert-Lewin up front. And then the other lads are going to be on the bench. Okay, so that's going to be your team going into the game. Let's see how we get on against Fulham. So a quick recap of what we're going to do here. When they are building, we have got a natural player-for-player situation. I could just leave it as it currently is. And basically what we're trying to do is I could just use the striker against the two players and essentially have him make sure he goes across and cuts it off. And then we can force him into the same trap, essentially without having to do that sort of shift over of players. But I'd still prefer it if I can get this sort of shape. I mean, I could try and get around this with like a 4-4-2. We're going to say that to the lads. You haven't missed anything so far in the game. I had the screen duplicated temporarily. So, yeah, I just probably cut most of that out because nothing's really happened. But to show you what's happened so far in terms of the tactic, we've gone with this. That is the current setup that we've gone with. That is your tactic there. And what I'm looking at is we're not engaging really high. We've kept a decent amount of possession so far. We've kept like 60-odd%. But I'm just looking at our pressure on their back line in particular. So we're going to force them back here. So we've got a pressing central player here. Okay, now it's been forced back. Now we should be really going for this and trying to stop them playing out. The back four have basically got nobody to deal with most of the time. So Stack's really sticking to the AMC. So the only way to get out of that with him is to put him as a central midfield player, right? And the danger with that is the minute I do that, he's not going to protect the back line as well. So I'm a bit stuck, really. Unless I man mark them, which I don't really want to do that, right? Everything that I'm doing, I want to do with the in and out system in terms of the two formations, and that's really it. So we could do something like this, right? So what you get is Calvert-Lewin is still the striker. He's offset. Baldanzi goes and joins him as a second player to go and press the back line, shifts them across. But then once they beat the press, Baldanzi becomes a 10. And in a 4-2-3-1, what you're going to get now is you're going to get Gononto probably tracking the DM here. Stack's going to take the other one potentially, which that isn't ideal, to be honest with you. But what I'm hoping happens here, if I make Basuma the pressing one, what we should get is we should hopefully get Basuma goes on to the left DM for them, who's here. Stack goes on to the one that's here. And then Gononto basically just patrols this area here, but stays central and condenses and compacts the middle temporarily. And I'm just going to get Auguste to go and be a extra bit of help for the fullbacks in the back line now as the tracking player on the left side. So let's see how this goes. Let's take a quick look at the visualizer. See what that reckons. So when the ball is playing out, I mean, it's going to be a bit more aggressive than that, I'd hope, from our team. Watching Gononto, really. Gononto looks all right there. It looks a bit passive from us, really. We jump outside. We're going to force them to the left. Then, as you can see, Baldanzi just becomes really a extra midfield player. Rodrigo condenses the middle quite a lot. The only problem with this system now is that we don't really have a natural protector in front of the back four. But it basically becomes like a 4-4-1. That's it, right? What is a 4-2-3-1 out of possession? It's like a 4-4-1-1. Somebody's 4-2-3-1 is somebody else's 4-4-1-1, and that's essentially what that shape becomes. So that actually looks fine in those thirds, in that middle third in particular. Actually looks fine there. I just don't know if that's going to be aggressive enough up here, so I might have to go to attacking mentality, but we know what happened last time I did that. Okay, so they're going to have a free kick here. Okay, so you see how we got a lot more aggression instantly, right? But having two strikers, that looks loads better to me. This looks loads better already. Got a 3 hit. See, I don't like the fact that they're not really going to be properly in the shape that I want, but it looks all right. Aggressive. I mean, we're not stopping the retain as well as I would like. So it's gone the opposite way now. So Gononto have to come across. Shift across, shift across, shift across. Gononto in your own time, mate. In your own time, son. Don't worry. And see how Smith Rowe is now getting on the ball, and there's a lot of space here, and I can just see us getting counted on really easy. It doesn't feel perfect. I feel like the front two might be something to go with against the 4-2-3-1s, and using the instead of them jumping out, they can just sort of start a bit higher. which is, as long as we get the same outcome, I don't really care. Because the principle is I want 2 players pressing the back line. It's going all the way through there. It's going to be cleared away. So is that Stack? So Stack's in a good position there. He actually looks like the pivot player, doesn't he? In that moment, he's there protecting anything that comes out. So he didn't look overly aggressive in that exact moment. Watch it again. So my only concern here is they're defending like a literal front 2. So we aren't forcing it to one side here. And they've gone the other side. So that's now another problem for us. So that's not really working how I wanted. So either Baldanzi could go here. He might still defend like a 2. So either Baldanzi comes out, right? And I leave him as basically like he'd have to be like the AMCL again. And we would do that same thing though. We'd have the same sort of set we got now where like essentially Gnonto is like a right central field play out of possession, right? Because that's what we're trying to create is that. I can either do that or I can do what I've just looked at where I can keep Stack as a DM and then those two essentially play like that. So it almost looks like a 4-3-3, but when the ball gets switched, Gnonto will come out. He'll come back and he'll shift across and it'll look like a 4-3-3 again. So it's going to look really complex on the tactics screen. It's going to look like this, but it really isn't. Like when the ball's this side, he will come across like after defend. I don't know if the visualizer is going to show it very well or not. Sort of. You can sort of see there. I mean, well, no, because Baldanzi would have to be a tracker in this exact setup. So let's try that again. Yeah, let's try that. So if we look at the ball being like here, yeah, okay, so you can see that now, right? Now, what does that look like to you? If I did not show you on the tactics screen what that looked like, you would think that that's a 4-3-3 or a 4-1-4-1 if you didn't see the player roles as well in particular, right? That's what you would think. So that's why it's always about forget sometimes the raw formation or the raw positions on the pitch. It's about the roles and where they're going to move to. Because like I said, that's the translation. That's the conversation you're having with the players, how I would view it. So yeah, that's a really good example. When the ball's on the right-hand side there, it looks like an orthodox 4-3-3. And in fact, it pretty much does on, but well, it doesn't know, not as much there. It gets a bit messy over here because Stack's got this. But I guess actually what I should do is have Stack as a screener. He probably shouldn't be as far across. So he still does there. He's getting pretty wide there because he's technically in a 2, I guess. But yeah, anyway, that's the point is that I wanted to make was that you can have a pretty, out there system, but really it's just going to be a 4-3-3 really is what it is against the 4-2-3-1. I don't know if I want to try this now or not, or if I want to keep it back to a more sensible start point. Like, should we go with this first? Let's try this first. And with this system in the flat one, I don't need him to be a tracker really. I actually don't know. Let's try both. Let's just see what happens. Let's go with this one first. Okay, free kick here. So now we've got Baldanzi and Calvert-Lewin here. Baldanzi is sat on the pivot play. Get off him. Good. He's off him. But and we force it to that side. Now, can we get across and win the ball is going to be the question. They've gone straight in behind to that side. It's gone straight past the bloody fullback. Crossed it in. It's deflected. It's cleared away. And Baldanzi did it on the counter. This isn't exactly how I designed it, but it's sort of worked out that way. Baldanzi's run away on the counter attack here. There's no support really except for the striker in the box. And that's absolutely disgusting, referee. Let's get the cards out, please. Okay, Gudmundson's got it. Plays it across the stack in a very risky pass. We're going to get away with it just. Ribeiro gets out to the left-hand side, hopefully plays. Oh, I can play shot back in Gudmundsson. Visual's going to get it. He's going to run with it and release it into Paulo Henrique, who has it on the right-hand side. He's going to run it. His play goes straight past him. He's going to whip in an aerial cross towards Calvert-Lewin, who goes up, heads it towards goal, and the keeper saves it. It's going to go for a corner. Okay, let's see what happens here. So, because Gnonto's playing central field, he is now actually the one that's going on there and leaving this side open. But these two are showing this side, and then we've not got this the right way now. Yes. Okay, right. That's interesting, right? So if we flip this. Okay, so if we do this instead, Bissouma and Baldanzi are going to both temporarily pick up the pivot players. Then once the corner is taken, the goal kick is taken, it's going to go over there, and then he's going to... So I think this might work, Because if you do that, and leave nobody there, they're going to try and play it to the right back. and then we can get around. Maybe this is the better way to do it. It's either that or you put him as a wing back. I'm going to turn this off because the wide players are getting really aggressive without me even wanting them to. So let's turn that off and let's put him back where he was, right? Baldanzi can go back up and be where he was, I guess. He can be here. Yeah, we can play from the back here. Ribeiro gets it. Plays it into Goodmanson. Goodmanson's going to release it into Baldanzi. Baldanzi into Aydin, who's going to cut inside and hopefully release this to somebody. Goodmanson back into Aydin. That's some nice build-up play there. Combination play, sorry. Aydin goes in and it goes on the outside of the players, goes back in, so goes back outside, cuts inside. Is he going to get a shot away? Plays it across goal and he missed his target. Good news is, though, it's a goal kick, so we get to celebrate and we get to watch this all play out together. The most exciting part of the series is the goal kicks, isn't it? Right, okay, now we're getting somewhere. I think. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind him doing that because I wanted to just test it. Right, okay. So now Gonto is going to prevent that. I reckon that's the best way to do it. Because what you're going to get here is these two are going to pick up the pivots to begin with, but then Stack should also, because he's now central to them both, he should be able to go with them. Really, I'd love to have him as like a pressing DM here, but we can't have that. So I'm going to go with him there. And we'll go with this. And this should now, in theory, work. If Baldanzi's got this, we've got players running away from him. Can we try and find the ball to feed to somebody? He's going to go to Basuma. Basuma's got on the right-hand side now. That's where we're bringing. Play him. Yes, there it is. Gonto goes through. Why has he gone away from goal there? What has he done? Oh, we had such a good opportunity. You can see how we're actually getting some really good moments, but we're just creating nonsense in the final third, really. But the bullet play's pretty good. I don't know what they've just done there. They've just turned it over in their own third. The high presses work. Basuma's now got it. No shot from edge of the area, please. Just work it in. Aydin gets it. Now you're going to have to try and work this again. Basuma is going to turn on it. He does. Gonto plays. I'm being let down here, lads. Viewers, I'm being let down by my own players. I mean, I think he's onside there as well. That's not good. Wow, there you are. He's going to clear it out to absolutely nobody. Go on, Calvert-Lewin. Yes, love that. Get yourself stuck in, lad. Love that. Oh, he's injured himself. Oh, no. No. Is he coming off? He's not injured enough to come off. He's going to stay on, I'm afraid. Al-Henrique has it. The build from the back here. He's going to drive inside and hopefully release it to somebody there. Good on. So back inside now. Find the 10. Yes, that's it. We're actually making some progress here. Look at this football. Baldanzi, it's there. Drive towards goal. Don't you dare. Drive towards goal. Drive towards goal. Find somebody. No, he's going to cut back. He's going to find somebody. Stack. Yes, come on. What a goal that is from Leeds United. We are back. The Bielsa football is back. It was beautiful football. There we go. Thank God for that. And the game is not over, but thank God we created some, like, incisive football by design. It's not like I've just set up a tactic and it's just, all of a sudden the players going everywhere and somehow there's a goal, a bit like Luis Suarez and the Brendan Rodgers. Like, this was actually designed, you know. This was a really good, well-designed goal from the team. 1-0 to Leeds. Coming up to half-time, it is the last 30 seconds. This might be an actual highlight. It's started very late. Aydin's going to take it and play it into Goodmanson, who's going to drive with the ball. He's got 2 versus 1 on the far side if he can find it. Well, he's actually found the wide play in one go. Gonto's going to bring it down. Very close to the half-time mark there. Basuma, is it going to be a goal? It's going to be a chance. Baldanzi's got it. He shoots, keeper saves it, and that's probably going to be the end of the half. But that was another good move from us. It is half-time. It's going to be 1-0 to Leeds going into half-time. Very, very good half after the changes that we made. Again, it was a bit a case of trying to adjust in-game, but it was a really, really good half from the boys. I'm going to give Calvert-Lewin about 5 minutes in the second half, then make the change. He's quite tired after that knock he took in the first half. But look at this. Look at this from Calvert-Lewin. He's picked out Gonto with a great pass. Plays it back into Basuma. Basuma's going to drive it. He's going to shoot. And it's going to be a goal from Leeds United. It's 2. It's 2 from the boys. I don't believe what I'm seeing. This unbelievable football. That's going to be 2. It's so gratifying when you win, like, for a reason. Like, you've made changes to create a specific outcome in mind tactically, and to see that come alive is the best feeling in Football Manager or football. It's a beautiful feeling. If you can't play, it's probably the next best thing, and that's beautiful. We're gonna we love this. Gonna solve the striker though, right on cue. He's done his bit for the team. I like here. They've got the ball. Stack, are we gonna win this? Are we gonna win this? So this is the only problem, right, with them not really using a DM properly. Out of possession is like, you can see, I guess the lines aren't that bad. If you look at the distance and the gap between the lines here, it isn't actually that bad, but there is like a clear one there. You'd like Stack really to just not be where he is right now, and then definitely getting in here. Like, look at this. Look at the state of this. Well, I mean, that was coming, wasn't it? So is there a way for us to get around that? I mean, not really. Apart from doing that, I just don't think it's going to work as well, but we'll try it. Yeah, so our final stoppage is we're going to make all of our remaining changes in one go. Baldanzi off. We're going to bring on, I think, Gruev. Gruev can come on the sort of left number 10 role. I guess Aydin could come off, and we can throw on potentially Okafor. And then the final one is going to have to be, I don't want to take off Basuma, really. Yeah, I've gone to balance mentality, time wasting up, and counter-attackers come off. Those are the only 3 tweaks that I've made to like try and see out the game a little bit here. So it's exactly the same thing, really, just a tiny bit of risk taken away out of the team. It's going to be a free kick to us from absolutely miles out. I can't see this going in. It might be a corner for us. He's going to play it short, though, to Okafor. Go on, Okafor. Have a dig. Go on, then. Gruev gets it back. He runs past him. Finish it. Oh, it was so close. Into added time. Getting very close. Are we going to see it out? 94. Last minute. Surely referee. It's got to be it. Yes. What a performance from the boys. That is a great performance and result for Leeds United. We absolutely controlled the game once we made our little changes to the matchup against them properly. That was a really good performance and a good result. I'm really happy. The team played better. The players that we signed have come in and made a good impact as well. That's a really, really good day at the office. That was required, that win, I would say. But I'm really happy with that. That's a great start, isn't it? So yeah, something to watch out for if you copy what I did there. If you have them set up like I did, where you have like everybody flat, is that you can end up in a scenario where as you get towards your own goal, as you saw, the striker and the 10 can sometimes get into gaps between the lines if they build up possession well enough against you, as you might end up with that. That's the risk with using no DMs in your out of possession shape. Once I moved Stack, though, to being the DM, we actually were quite secure after that point. We were largely pretty good. The only highlight that they had that I didn't show you was a set piece. Again, it wasn't anything for open play. So the little adjustments we made in that game were really good. It was a lot of hard work, though, to get through and win. But after a team that lost 3 games in a row, it was always going to be slightly difficult away from home to get a win. And we did get the win. That's the most important thing. We got the win. And we got the win for the right reasons. I cannot stress enough how bloody gratifying that is. That was enjoyable. I actually loved that. Okay, move on to the next game. It's Wolves away. Okay, so that's going to be a 3 at the back test as well. So that's going to be something completely different for us. It's not going to be quite 3-5-2. It's going to be the 3-4-2-1 formation, unless they've changed managers already, which I don't think they would have by this point. So we're going to see what happens then. It's going to be 3 at the back against Wolves. That is coming up next. I'll see you in a week. So before we get into the next match, I thought I'd show you the league table. We've not really looked at that yet, to be honest with you. We've not really looked at how things have gone, but I guess we only played a few matches. Everybody has played 4 or 5 matches. We are currently sat in mid-table with 2 wins and 2 defeats. 6 goals scored, 8 against so far. Comfortably ahead of the relegation zone. Wow, no, we're not, because it's only 3 points. But I feel like we're comfortable, but we'll see how things go. It's going to be a different challenge, though, today. This match is going to be a different challenge. It's going to be 3 at the back, 5-2-1, right? That's going to be interesting. So we're not going to make the mistake I made in real life in my B license like I showed in episode 1. We're not going to go 3 for 3. We're not going to be going 3 for 3 at the back there. They're going to play tiki-taka, apparently. That's great if they want to try and do that against us. And at the moment, the team is pretty much going to pick itself. I'm not going to change the winning team from the last game. Nobody is fit anyway, really, that was out before. So it's going to be the same team. Nothing to really talk too much about in this screen here. That is going to be your team. That is not going to be the tactic. We'll review that, though, in a second. Okay, we're going to say, go out there and impress me. Okay, so let's put them in a 3 at the back. That is how it's naturally going to shape up, right? So we have the same. So with this formation, it's the same as like the Arsenal or City formation post rotations in the sense of the box formation. Just the wide players are then going to get higher from the wing-back position rather than being actual wide players. So what do you do? The difference between this and the 3-5-2 obviously is I don't need to drop him in. It's only against 1 striker. But we do need to have 2 pivots somehow. So you could go something like this, right? You go 2 pivots here against their 2. You then would go, you could pull the striker in here. You could do this, which is essentially the same thing I did against 3-5-2. But you do it then like that. And you still have the spare player. It's still a 2v1 here. We're still matched up here, and we've still got 2 on the back line. So that would be the philosophy sort of coming out. So really, what you're looking at is not going to be like that, is it? It's going to be basically a 4-2-2. So I think a 4-2-2 works against this. Essentially a 4-4-2. So what we're going to do is going to pull the striker onto the pivot player with the number 10, and the 2 wide players are then going to go and engage the back line with 2 pressing fullbacks occupying the wing backs. That's what we're going to do. Let's sort that out in game. And again, it's supposed to be an aggressive press, right? So we're going to put the 10 and the 9 together. You two can slide across as well. That all looks good. You two are going to go up front and press the back line. That looks good from here as well. And then you end up with this situation here. So do you then put them as actual wing backs or fullbacks? It's a tough one because you're going to get a better pressing situation by putting them there. I'm going to put them as fullbacks though because I don't really want them to be getting caught. I don't want them to be really caught ahead of the defensive line all the time. So we're going to go with this. I think this will work decently well. I could technically leave Calvert-Lewin up front in the front 2 and have one of the wide players go to AMC and the other go to striker. It might give you... I think this is where you can get really creative with the opposition formations though, right? The reason why I think I might prefer it the other way around is simply this. You have Gunonto up front and Calvert-Lewin here. Right, what that means is, when we win the ball and turn it over, Calvert-Lewin is going to start moving to a striker, but he's going to be moving from deep, so he's almost effectively going to play like a link-up striker. In transition, he's like a link-up striker, right? He's going to be floating in here. And then Gunonto is going to be trying to get back out to the wide player, so he's going to be splitting wide. So you might get some really nice transitions. I'm sure you understand what I mean, but I'll just drag it out in the old tactics board quickly. So what I'm saying here is, okay, let's say the picture is something like this, right? And 11 tries to play the ball into the striker, and he tries to play it in, the 5 gets there and wins it. And then you've got the 8 trying to get some space. As it happens then, you're sort of temporarily in like a triangle formation like here. And then what's going to happen is, as the 5 travels with the ball, Calvert-Lewin's going to be moving towards, being a striker, but he's not going to be like turning and running in behind. He's going to still be here. So he's going to be almost like a false 9. And as he's doing that, Gunonto's going to be going wide. So what you might end up with, right, is a scenario where it doesn't really matter what side the centre-back goes. If that ball gets played into Calvert-Lewin, he's now going to have Gunonto like narrow, ready to run in behind. If you do it the other way around, so if you've got Gunonto deep and then Calvert-Lewin, Gunonto might pick it up, but then you've got like your target striker trying to potentially run in behind with Gunonto then releasing it. I actually just think it works better the other way around for linking up. But it might not. Again, it's not that one is better than the other. It might be that we find that in this game, Calvert-Lewin actually works better running in behind, than in a different game, it's actually Gunonto. It depends, right? But what I'm saying is, this choice, it's not just a formation choice, it's how we're going to do it. It's going to dictate massively how the players are going to move on the transitions. So that's really, really important for us to consider. And in this game, I'm going to go with the Calvert-Lewin onto the pivot player and have Gunonto running off him. It just keeps the units, like, I've got my 2 wide players of the 2 strikers. It's just keeping it a bit more symmetrical. My 10 and my 10 and 9 are together. They literally are 10 and 9 as well, which is quite funny. My 10 and 9 are together. My 2 wide players are together. 2, like, more pivot players are together. Everything's quite symmetrical here for us to follow. Let's go with that and let's see what happens. Okay, in terms of them pressing us, I mean, the referee's picked a bit of an odd colour for this, hasn't he? What is he doing here? He's very similar to the Wolves colours, isn't he? He's not quite the same, but he's got the same colour shorts, similar colour shirt. Don't know if I like that. We know what's going to happen in this game, don't we? Moving to the left-hand side. Goes past the play, cuts inside. He's going to get a cross off here. He's still going. Play across goal. It does. Aiden gets it. He shoots and he scores. And it's 1-0 to Leeds United. Away from home. Really, really good start. Not really had to see too much of our pressing shape yet because we battered them so much. That's 1-0. They play into their pivot player. They're going to play back there. So we've got our strikers now engaged the back line. What are you doing? Get yourself back in there. That's it. That's more like it. So they're really struggling to go anywhere with the ball. I mean, is he trying to piss me off here? Do you know what, though? If he's going to do that, right, if he is going to do that, I don't mind it if they swap. As long as somebody's pressing the back line, somebody presses the pivot player, I don't actually care. That's fine. As long as they do that. As long as it doesn't mess up the whole system. My concern there, if we roll back this a tiny bit, though, is just how far off the fullback is. Because how the fullback is trying to mark this player, right? He's getting occupied by the AMC. He's not marking their wing back, which is a huge problem for me. I'm going to go double screener. We're going to confirm those changes with the 2 wing backs up. And we're just going to go back 10 seconds. I just want to see. Right, so we've got the number 10 is here, right? The 2 number 10s are here and here. My DMs are completely ignoring them. He's basically, right, in this scenario, a striker. He's not even an AMC, is he? Like, he's really been occupied by the centre-backs, and that happened all the way through. And they nearly got through there as well, so there might be a case of going 3-1. And then, so you go 3 and 1, and the 2 wide centre-backs are stoppers. So if the AMC goes in front of them, they can go really tight and get close to them. But then if it's not their side, they can sort of stay where they are as a second centre-back for the middle centre-back who's just going to stay orthodox and not engage anybody. Calvert-Lewin tries to get that through. He doesn't quite get it through. So, okay, transition here. I wasn't even watching the play. I was looking to see where the transition was going to come from. But Gnonto's won it back, apparently. I didn't even see it, but we're going to watch this. We're going to let this play out anyway because you would have seen it and I didn't. Stack gets it. Goodmanson gets it on the edge of the area, plays it into Aydin, who's had a great game. Calvert-Lewin, Bissouma, I don't know what's happening. It's going to be a corner. Then they play from the back. So they got out there. Okay, so it starts here. I don't understand how he cannot be focused on him. And now we're letting players go. We're running players are running off us. It's all over the shop, isn't it? It's all over the shop. And it all started from the RAMC not being on his man. That's how it breaks down. Is when players don't do the jobs, lads. That's how it starts. And this is just, well, right, let's stop this right now. Let's get that addressed immediately. So Calvert-Lewin, I think, was the one that didn't do his job. See, if I'm going to make him be a central fielder, I can't use Calvert-Lewin for that. That's going to have to be switch. My thought process is we keep everything exactly the same, but we make them this. So they can't possibly fail to do their job out of possession. Goodmanson has it. And he's going to go wide. We've got a bit of an overload at the back post here. If we can work it across to anybody, can we get it into this? Because a few touches, he's going to get a clear shot on goal. No, but they're going to get it on the counter. We need any players back. Counter presses anybody can get to him. Yeah, love that stat. Love that foul. Love that tactical foul. Round of applause for stat, please, chat. That is an absolutely fantastic foul. Absolutely love it. You can't teach that. Don't book him, ref. Well, Joe, I don't care if you do. That's brilliant defending. I'd applaud that any level of football, any age group. Brilliant defending. Right then, let's see it. Stay on the pivot players. That is your only job. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. If he gets on it, good on, though, I'm going to be furious. How was he? What the Christ is happening here? So the right wing back's going to go. My DM's on picking him up. Look, he's just let him go completely. Do they have a player that's really not a threat at wing back? Doherty. Doherty is not a threat at wing back. New plan. Doherty is not a threat. Right? Their left wing back is. So this is like some really complex thinking here. Like, apologies for this being a disgrace, really, a little bit. So what this is, right? So let's say Doherty is going to be their more defensive right back. Think of it almost now like a 4. Let's assume it, right? But they've got their 2 players are running away from us. Like, we can't stop them at the moment. So what I want to do here, we're going to have one player in the middle. But if I move Stack to the middle, it leaves him completely free now, right? He's completely free. He's going to have nobody on him because this is the matchup here, right? Let me just put them into the natural. You've got, let's get rid of the ball for a second. We've got 3v2. We're ignoring him. We're going to take him out the equation right now. We're man for man in midfield. We're 2 versus the back line. We're man for man here. We've got 2 versus 1 on the striker. And this player is now currently spegged. I move Stack to the middle. This is my proposal. He goes in here to defend here, right? And he marks that player there. But this player is now a dropper. So once they get towards like the final third here, he's first of all, he's a wide covering. So he'll be like, he won't be completely here. He'll be out covering. And as they get closer to the goal, he'll drop into centre back and I'll push him up to like being a wide centre back. So become like a back 5 once they get the ball like near our goal. So that should give us enough cover to cover this tactical problem. I don't feel good about this. I could take somebody out the pressing line. That is a solution that I could also do here. So we keep the 4. We keep exactly what we had. But what I could potentially do is just do this, right? Take somebody out here. And then we go for essentially 4-3-2-1 is what we could do. That could also, that's 2 solutions there. This seems like the safer option, but it does mean we have 3 versus 1. I don't really like that, but we are 1-0 up. We're aggressive. I'm gonna go for the reckless decision first. We're gonna go with my original plan. Right, give me a second. I'm just gonna see the visualizer just to give me a bit of a clarity over exactly where he'll be. Seeing if I make Baldanzi a tracker or a central midfielder, what's better? Do I want him, if it goes wide, do I want him going wide? Because that would leave a pivot free. No. No, I don't want that. Go and be a tracking AM. And he can stay there as a pressing one. That just looks absolutely calamity. it actually does make a lot of sense in the 4-2-2 that we've got. But, well, I mean, I'm saying it does. I'm just telling you it does. That doesn't actually mean it does make sense. Obviously, you're the judge of that, if it makes any sense. But think of how fun this is, right? Look at all those changes I just made, and none of them affect us in possession. Apart from, obviously, players moving from one position to the other, that does affect it. But in, like, terms of their raw, like, self-possession right now, nothing should change. From my goal kick that I just had, nothing I've just done has changed anything. And they really aren't interested in pressing us, are they? Goodmanson's going to get on this. Probably not the best playmaking wing back. I might change him to inside wing back. I don't know yet. As he just pings in a ball in behind, and we're not going to get there. But Docky plays a calamitous pass across his own goal. That is all we're going to leave him to do whatever he wants on the ball. Balanzi gets it. He's going to travel with it. Gets it to Aidan, who's looked good. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Oh, honestly, I cannot express to you how good it bloody feels when a plan comes together like that. That is beautiful. There is no better feeling in Football Manager than creating a tactic for a reason and watch it play out just masterfully. We've covered their passing options, stopped them playing out, left Doherty to be the 12th player for us, and it's just worked magically. Absolutely brilliant, lads. That's it. We're done. We've won the game. Even if we lose the game 4-2 from now on, I feel like I've done my job. It'd be the lads' fault. That's a great... And look at the signing as well that Aydin's been on the left-hand side. That's been a big change. As Doherty absolutely ghosts us into space. And, wow. I mean... What a Goodmanson. That was a bit dangerous, wasn't it? I'm not going to complain at that. Let's just go back, though. This looked quite dangerous. This looked quite dangerous to me. I want to see why both wing-backs were completely free. So I just want to see exactly how it happens. So Doherty's gone high and wide, so is the other one. My 3 DMs are across here. So the left-back is taking the play like he's supposed to. He's left Doherty like he's supposed to. You're not supposed to be taking the bloody player here. See, this is specifically designed so the right back does not have to take the AMC. So that's, although they didn't get through that side, I don't care. That's the tactical issue there. He shouldn't be taking that player. We're gonna have to go to a 3. We're gonna have to, if that's what's gonna happen, we have to go to a 3 and do what the other solution originally was, which was essentially going like stopping wide centre-backs. So you can go man for man on those two, and then he can just be a covering centre-back and occupy the striker. And then he can basically be a screener and just float in between. And if it's on that side of the ball, if the ball is this side, he goes and occupies that number 10 and leaves this one, and vice versa. That's going to have to be the way we go, I think. It goes to the right-hand side. We're going to come across. The back 3 are going to deal with this. We need to make sure we're retreating now, lads. Back we go, back we go, back we go. I mean, if Doherty's going to run past and do that, I mean, we're in trouble. Don't you dare foul him for a penalty. I don't believe it. Do they have a player that's really not a threat at wing-back? Doherty. Doherty is not a threat at wing-back. Doherty has just bought a penalty off of us. Wow. That is a subbable offence, Alexandro. That is most certainly a subbable offence. Half-time, you're coming off as a punishment for that. Whether he scores or... I don't even care if he scores or not. You're definitely coming off for that. I'm not having it. And that is 2-1. Yeah, there's a highlight right before half-time. Doherty's going to get it. He's not beating my players again, is he? Like, please don't do this, lads. To me, lads. I'll be absolutely raging if they had done that again. So, like, numbers-wise, let's have a look at this structure here. Where is my other striker pressing the back line? We've only got one there. They're going to play through. They're going to get through. Matt Doherty's on the ball. Matt Doherty's going through. Do they have a player that's really not a threat at wing-back? Doherty is not a threat at wing-back. He's gone through. Apart from pleased. Second half, 2-2 then. Gonna make some changes here to try and get back into the game. Well, head in the game. I'm gonna change a striker. I'm gonna change Aldanzi as well. Okay, free kick here with Basuma. He's gonna take it. 20 minutes to go here. We're trying to push through. I've gone to attacking mentality. Basuma plays it into Gruev. Gruev back into Basuma. Into Dominguez, who come on for good on to the right-hand side. Go on, Dominguez. Get him 1v1. He's got loads of space. Surely he can do him. He does. Goes on the inside, shoots. There's a late highlight here, and it could be for either side. Okay, there's a late highlight here. It could be for either side. Goodmanson has it. He runs straight through the team. Releases it to Gruev. Into the left winger. Back to Goodmanson, who's going to run through the centre of the pitch. He's got to try and release it to somebody. He does the left winger to Aydin. He's going to drive at the defence. He's going to go wide. He's going to cut it across goal, is he? Oh, I don't believe it. Well, when you come up against absolutely top-level wing-backs like Matt Doherty, there's not a lot you can do on those days. I told the lads he was dangerous before the game started, and the lads let me down there. Effectively an assist for him and a goal, so 2-2 draw. Hard to take that one is.